Yo, what's up? Yeah, today I'm talking about my testosterone booster stack and how to increase your testosterone naturally. All right, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right, I am sharing my testosterone booster stack, and I've been asked by many of my subscribers to share the stack that I use to increase my testosterone naturally. So, you're welcome to watch the entire video on all the reasons why I am increasing my testosterone and the specific herbs and minerals that I'm using to do that. So if you don't want to wait, I'm just going to give it to you right now, and then I'll explain and go into detail. So first, I use boron, okay? And I apologize if things are switched around because I need to use a different camera on my phone. I use boron, I use stinging nettle, and I use long jack tongat. All right. So if you want to leave, go ahead. But I'm going to go into details about this and why specifically these three. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Gorilla Zen. I made some notes because this is going to be a longer video and I need to explain all these things. So shout out to Gorilla Zen Fitness. Gorilla Zen Fitness, this guy is probably about 35 years old. And I was looking for something to boost my testosterone naturally, right? So I liked the information that he provided and I decided to try this. So at the time of doing this video, I've been stacking that combination for, I would say, 4 months now. So just complete disclaimer here. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form. I am just a regular guy who is getting amazing results from the stack, and I want to share it with you, and you can take it or not take it, whatever, do your own research. Okay, so first of all, why should a man boost his testosterone? Well, you may not know this. However, the average testosterone rate right now is 50% less than men men from the 1970s and 1980s. Isn't that nuts? Right. So testosterone levels are more than 50% less than the men from the 1970s and 1980s. And if you don't even believe me, just take a look at school yearbooks. The school yearbooks from men in the 70s and 80s, like these kids, to say kids, like they're under 19 and they look like men. You look at yearbooks of today and men look like girls. Like, it's a huge difference. And there's a lot of evidence to show that really the reason why the testosterone has been dropping over the years is the water and the food supply. It is absolutely incredible and insane at the same time how much estrogen is put into animal feed, injected into animals so that the animals can get larger, have more offspring, all of this. This video is not going to be about that, but it's clearly evident that what we're eating and consuming is affecting our testosterone levels. Not only that, but the average man at the age of 35 starts to lose 1% of his testosterone per year. So that's crazy. So, I mean, it's just easy math. By the time you're 45, you've just lost 10% more testosterone. Already, you're behind the 8 ball because you have less testosterone than the men of the 1970s and 1980s. And by the way, just a little fact. Early humans, like Neanderthals and Homo erectus, early Homo sapiens, right, had 2 to 3 times the testosterone levels that we have now. Now, okay, there's a range. Like, you don't want to be that high because those guys were crazy motherfuckers, couldn't get along with anyone. There was constantly wars and struggles, and they couldn't form communities, so you can have too much. So that's why you need to increase your testosterone. That's the hormone that makes us men men. It regulates our mood. It makes us healthy. It's good for our bones. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits. I don't have to go on and on and on about that. All right. So why boost your testosterone naturally versus testosterone replacement therapy or TRT? Well, first of all, boosting your testosterone naturally is cheaper, and second, it's safer. I was looking for something that I can do long term and not have to spend $500 a month, $1,000 a month, take these injections, and just again, I am not a scientist, I'm not a medical doctor by any means, but there is a lot of research that shows that testosterone replacement therapy only increases your total testosterone. So as men, you have two testosterone ratings if you get your blood test. You have total testosterone and you have free testosterone. The total testosterone, imagine this. Imagine a gas tank. You have so much gas you can put in the tank, right? So you can have a bigger tank, smaller tank, whatever. But if you just increase the tank, doesn't mean it changes the performance of the engine, right? It just allows you to use more gas. But the key thing here is the engine. I mean, they're both important. But if you have a large gas tank and you have a large engine, you are going to be using more gas than a car with a smaller gas tank and a smaller engine, if that makes sense. Okay, so total testosterone, think of it as the gas tank size. But the free testosterone is the engine size. So what you want to do is you want to increase both. You want to increase the engine size and you want to increase the gas tank size. So I'm going to go into specifically what boron does, what stinging nettle does, and what long jack does. All right, so boron, first one. All of these herbs, by the way, you can get on Amazon. Whether you're in Canada or the United States, you can get them in various formats. So just go to Amazon, check it out. So boron, right? First one you see here. And again, I apologize if it's flipped around. So what you want to make sure, first of all, is that you're within the safe range for the daily maximum. So boron, I'm at the max. I take the max daily range, which is 20 milligrams per day. So what boron is it's a simple, cheap mineral, okay? And I have a bunch of notes. I want to just make sure I cover everything. So what boron does is it makes testosterone more usable. And it basically allows for your total testosterone and a percentage of that to not bind to what's called sex hormone binding globulin. I know it's a mouthful. Sex hormone binding globulin. So a lot of your total testosterone gets bound to the sex hormone binding globulin and it's not used. That's why you have a huge difference in rating between your total testosterone and your free testosterone. Some people have really high total testosterone, but they have very low free testosterone. That's because a lot of their total testosterone is binding to the sex hormone binding globulin. So boron, again, this helps remove that binding from the sex hormone binding globulin. So it allows testosterone to not bind to the sex hormone binding globulin. Okay? All right, so next is stinging nettle. So stinging nettle works similarly to boron. The difference is that stinging nettle it's a herb, and stinging nettle contains niggins, whatever. It contains this thing, and what it does is lignans bind to the sex hormone globulin, and it restricts the binding of testosterone because of that. I hope that makes sense. So imagine stinging nettle binds to sex hormone globulin, and it prevents the binding of testosterone to the sex hormone globulin. Okay, so when you use stinging nettle with boron, boron helps free up testosterone from binding, and stinging nettle prevents the binding there. So that's why you want to use those two in uh, together. So I take 1,000 milligrams per day, which is at the safe maximum level. So 1,000 milligrams per day of stinging nettle. Third, long jack tongat. I take 1,000 milligrams of this per day, and I take all three, by the way, before I go to bed. And I'll go over the pros and the cons of taking this stack. So long jack, 1,000 milligrams per day. This has been proven to increase your total testosterone. How it exactly does it, science doesn't really understand, but we objectively know that it helps increase your total testosterone. So that's why these three are very important, because you have one that helps prevent the binding to the sex hormone globulin, and the other one blocks the binding. And then you have the long jat that helps increase your total testosterone. So, as I mentioned earlier, I've been taking this stack now for about 4 months, and damn, it is awesome. So, I, another disclaimer: give it a few months to kick in, because really it took about 2 to 3 months to kick in, and all of a sudden I was like, boom, magic happened. So I'll first go over the pros, and then I'll go over the cons. All right. So the pros is my confidence is it's off the charts. Like, I am so confident, not only around women, but I'm confident around men. I'm more confident in my meetings in the workplace. So that's number one. Number two, I have more energy. Number three, which you're probably all hoping for, is yes, I wake up almost every single morning with morning wood. By the way, signs that you know you have low testosterone is one, that you rarely wake up with morning wood. Number two, it's very hard for you to get rid of the lower belly fat that you have. So as you can see, just standing back, I'm in pretty good shape, but I have a little bit of belly fat that it's being reduced significantly with the same workouts, the same diet, just from this herbal stack, which is awesome. And number three is, if you're finding yourself more depressed and more emotional, that's also a sign that you have low testosterone. Okay, so back to the pros. Obviously, you have morning wood. You're going to get more erections. I found this, that when I do get an erection, it is a harder erection, which is fantastic. And my orgasms are more intense. So you're probably thinking, man, this is like magical concoction here. It's really good, man. And I'm just saying this as a regular dude, okay? So let me see what else. Just looking at my notes. Oh yes, so I have less appetite, which is really good, because that means you're going to lose weight. I have way better workouts in the gym. I'm going to go into some of the cons. So there's a double-sided sword on this one, double-edged sword. I mentioned confidence, and I'm less emotional about things. So now the cons. The cons are, when you take it at night, you are going to have more gas for sure. So I live alone, so that's no problem. If I was actually living with somebody, that would be a little challenging, because I get a lot of gas with this. Number two is my aggression levels are way higher. So I have to keep this shit in check, because going to a nightclub where it's packed and dudes are bumping into me and stuff like that, like, I used to kind of let it go, and now I basically just want to beat their ass. And I moved from Canada to Atlanta on a work visa. And one of the things here is that if I get arrested, they kick me out of the country. So I have to be very, very careful with my aggression. I called an Uber one time, just actually last week. And the guy, I told him, I said, hey, I have some DJ equipment. Hope that's okay. He didn't read my message. He shows up and he starts giving me a hard time about me having my DJ equipment. And I looked at him and I'm like, look, you didn't read the message that I sent you. And if this is the problem, I'll cancel it right now. Like, I am just way shorter with people and I don't deal with shit, which is in a good sense. I don't deal with chicks and the BS that I get with on dates and stuff like that. But my aggression level is much higher, which can be a significant con to those that have a hard time keeping that in check. It allows me to have way better workouts in the gym because I just want to throw weights around and just let it out. Right? I'm like, oh God. So one thing that's interesting, I mentioned morning wood. Okay. So yes, I get morning wood, but my libido is lower. It's strange. It's like if all of a sudden I'm with someone and she's touching me, of course I'm going to get an erection. I'm going to get in the mood and I'm going to want to do something. But in general, I am not walking around all day with a hard on. I wake up in the morning pretty much all the time with the morning wood, but in general, my libido is lower, which is a good thing because I'm not thinking of sex all the time like I used to. But even then, I do practice no FAP. So I try to go as long as possible without having any release if I'm not dating someone, because dating somebody and having sex with that person is actually good and increases your testosterone. It does. Having sex increases your testosterone more than masturbating. That's proof. Anyways, so if I'm not dating someone, I try to go as long as possible without masturbating. But in general, I just find it interesting. I'll wake up with morning wood, but other than that, during the day, I'm not thinking of sex and my libido is lower. Again, just for clarification, if I'm with somebody and they're touching me, of course my libido is going to kick in. But I'm talking in general. So that's it, man. Like, I really encourage you all to consider doing the stack. And just as a recap, we got boron, right? Boron helps testosterone not bind to your sex hormone globulin. Stinging nettle binds to the sex hormone globulin, therefore blocking testosterone from binding to it. And then long jack helps increase your total testosterone because you need the total testosterone and the free testosterone. All right. Let me know in the comments what you think. And thanks for listening and watching for this long. I know it was a long video. And I look forward to more videos about this. And just let me know in the comments. All right. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.